Hi, and welcome to this episode of Conversation with the Chef. I'm Jo Rittey, and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. This podcast is recorded on Wurundjeri country, and I pay my respects to the First Nations custodians of the land both here and wherever you are listening from. This is the second instalment of my Truffles series. In the first instalment, I talked to Dion Ranger from Stone Barn Truffles in WA to hear all about truffle cultivation. In this episode, I talked to Annie Smithers from Du Fermier in Trentham. It is always an absolute delight to talk to Annie, and as usual, she came out with some absolute pearls. You will love this conversation.
Hello.
Hi Annie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Tell me about your experience with truffles.
I have been up in the Maston Ranges, Dalesford area for the last 30 years. And it's been one of the areas where there have been quite a lot of truffles grown. So for excuse me, many years I worked with a woman called Georgie Patterson who actually trained truffle dogs. So she had her own truffle trees, but not, that wasn't the main reason that she existed. Her existence was based more around the dogs, and she would go off and search look for truffles in the Coinji-Bora area, which is sort of got quite a few people who are growing truffle trees. So she would turn up at my kitchen door with black truffles and say, would you like them? And I would pop them on the menu and just use them with largesse and think I was very lucky. And then last year I met a wonderful man called Peter, and he has a property where he's planted Italian stone pines, and he is growing the white truffles, the Biancetta truffles that are famous in more Italian cuisine. And he uses his pet pug to find them. So
really?
he has a pug called Jose, and I went up there with Jonathan Green, who I do radio with, and we had a wonderful tour of the stone pines with Jose leaping about and marking truffles all the while, and then he cooked us a beautiful lunch, and then I, through the truffle season, would get truffles from him every week, the white truffles, and use those in the restaurant.
Beautiful. I just love this image of a pug finding truffles.
It's just beautiful. If you're on Instagram, his handle is tartufo.white.
Okay.
And you will see pictures of the wonderful Jose on that.
I love it. And so when you're using the truffles, what would be the difference in flavour between the black truffles and the white?
I find that the white ones are much more aromatic. The black ones, they're quite different flavours, and it's hard to describe because they're really, the essence of their flavour to me is they're of the earth. They've got that earthy sort of fungal smell and taste about them. And I suppose it's hard for me to without them in front of me, to define why they're different. And perhaps it's sort of like describing a red wine from one part of Burgundy to the other part. They're both of the same, grape varieties, but they're completely different because of the terroir that they're grown in. So I think that truffles fall into that magical place in the universe, is that they are all, there is no sameness. They are all different on any given day, whether they're the white ones, the black ones, what sort of dirt they've been grown in, what sort of atmospheric conditions have been there. They are just truffle, and you expect the unexpected.
Wow. Yeah, because I was speaking to Julian Hills at Navi, and he was talking about he likes to showcase all the different regions growing truffles, and for that reason,
Yeah.
that whole terroir thing. So I find that quite fascinating. And how would you use the truffles in your menu on your dishes?
When we're using the white ones, because they are, the Fermier, I cook generally, French farmhouse style of food. But over the year, over the 11 years here, I've recognised that peasant food is peasant food. And whether it's French farmhouse food or Italian farmhouse food or Ukrainian farmhouse food, there are the narrative is the same. It's about using what you have that's cooked with, respect and, traditional techniques. And I think that, if we're talking about European food, there are, cooking techniques that become part and parcel of every generation, and they're handed down. So if I'm using the white truffles, I will often, break out some duck egg pasta, do a very simple pasta with Reggiano and shaved truffle. I might, I think I did something, someone reminded me a couple of weekends ago, I did a duck ragout with some duck egg pasta and the white truffle, and that was absolutely delicious. Truffles are great friends with eggs. So whether it be a black truffle or a white truffle, a double baked Comte souffle augmented with truffle is a very fine thing.
Delicious. What are your feelings about summer truffles?
As in,
Because
are they?
Yeah, because for me, truffles are very wintry. They go with all the cozy dishes. But then over the course of this, talking to different people, the WA exports a lot of truffles to other countries, Europe, in their off season, and they've got a new thing called, the summer truffles, and they use it in different ways. That kind of. What's the word? Is a bit of a juxtaposition to seasonality to me.
That's a very long ethical conversation that's one of my soapbox conversations. And for me, it is about the flagrant commodification of food and this desperate want that, we all, perhaps it's the malaise of the middle class, I don't know, but anything that is considered a luxury item, suddenly needs to be, well, not suddenly, but there is this sense that it needs to be available and enjoyed all the time by as many people as possible, which takes the luxury out of it.
Yeah.
So for me, I find that juxtaposition. Look, if the French want to have truffles 12 months of the year, good luck to them. If that's what they want to do, if people want to do that, that's their choice. For me, I want to eat asparagus in spring. I want to eat chestnuts in late autumn. I want to eat quinces in autumn. I want to eat truffles in winter. I personally do not feel the need to have these luxurious items that are absolutely seasonal. I want to wonder at them in their season and all the things that attend them in that season. As you say, truffles seem to go with the wintry comfort, beautiful things. And also be true to that sort of thing of, if we're talking about truffles, we are actually originally talking about a farmer who has a pig that finds this wondrous thing, and he takes it home and they cook it in the simplest, most beautiful way because it is special. It is a surprise. It's a luxury. It is something they don't have every day, and that the flavour resonates, the beauty of its its seasonality and its surprise factor. You know, the pig, look what the pig found, darling. Look at this beautiful thing. You know, do we have any rice? Do we have it? Should we make some pasta? Oh, we've got a pot roasted chicken. Let's just grate it over the top.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we're losing in this day of farming everything and pushing the limits and transporting everything everywhere. We forget the man out with his pig.
Absolutely. That's perfect. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Annie Smithers from Du Fermier in Trentham. If you liked what you heard, you can check out all the goodness on Instagram at Du Fermier. That's DU_FERMIER. This was the second episode in my series on truffles. Next up is Jordan Clay from Pippi's Kiosk. If you'd like to hear more stories from other chefs, I'm on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read the chat and become a subscriber, what's more, at www.conversationwithachef.com. I would love it if you told a friend about my chats, and of course you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Once again, thanks for listening, have a great day, and bon appetit!